My name is Bode Makanjola. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Caverton Offshore Support Group. That is the parent company for Caverton Helicopters and Caverton Marine. Caverton in itself started out as a marine company. So we started out as Caverton Marine in 1999, operating tankers, LPG tankers, small product tankers. At the time, we were actually the largest importers of LPG into the country. But we also had incorporated Caverton helicopters at the time. We found that at the time there were only two operators in the sector. That was Bristol and Aero Contractors. And we believe that with the ethos that we sort of imbibed in the way we operated, that we could make a go of it. To date, we've trained over 100 Nigerian pilots and engineers alike, and that in itself goes to some of the investments that we later made with the support of the BOI, obviously, in terms of our CATC, our aviation training center, and the investments in simulators, and then also our MRO, which is the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. The financial challenges that we faced are more or less challenges that everyday Nigerian entrepreneurs or Nigerian businesses faced. High interest rates on short tenures. So capital or debt was pretty much very expensive for us. I should say we also ended up being listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2012, and but then again, raising equity it's more expensive, but obviously a lot more difficult. And also being an aviation or helicopter company, that was quite tricky. So debt was still our go-to. What BOI brought to the table was cheaper form of financing that enabled us to undertake much larger projects. BOI intervention, especially when it came to the aviation, via the Aviation Intervention Fund, is what gave rise to the MRO facility that we have today, which is the largest in, like I said, in Nigeria, and the first of its kind in Nigeria and West Africa. Through our intervention, we've developed a facility that has supported not just Caverton's efforts, but also serviced and trained engineers for the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Presidency as well. We've had all manner of aircraft come in, as well as third-party aircraft from neighboring countries. When you look at our aviation training center, we have aircrafts. We've had pilots come in for training and recurrency training. That sort of has opened up the country to the opportunities for these sorts of services and facilities that didn't exist. And I dare say, without the BOI intervention, that probably wouldn't have been possible.
We're very grateful for BOI in terms of supporting us with the acquisition of the new aircraft. This helicopter has really helped our operations, most especially for the NOCs, the national oil companies, who don't necessarily have the funding to have a retainer on an aircraft. Most of the IOCs have a retainer on their aircraft, whether they fly or they don't fly. So our acquisition of this aircraft has given them more flexibility and actually reduced the initial operating cost of having an aircraft on standby. The addition to our fleet has actually increased our customer base. Like I mentioned, a lot of the NOCs are now more comfortable approaching us. It helps with their planning, it helps with their crew movement and lifting. We also assist a few of the oil companies when they're doing their drilling campaigns, which sometimes takes 3 to 6 months. So the additional of the extra asset, the extra helicopter, has actually really helped in supporting a lot of the national oil companies, which in turn also increases the overall output, the crude production of Nigeria. The funding from BOI, funny enough, has not only just been on helicopter acquisition. We approached BOI to assist in funding of our MRO, which is one of the only MROs in West Africa.
The relationship between BOI and Caverton Helicopters have been quite a tremendous positive impact. BOI coming onto the space to be able to help Caverton Helicopters goes a long way. It allowed us to pursue not only fixed-wing aircraft but also helicopters, which allow us first of all to train Nigerians. When we joined the industry, we have where 70% of the pilots are expatriates from other countries, while 30% of Nigeria. But with the investment from Bank of Industry, we were able to get assets in terms of real aircraft, where we're able to now recruit and train Nigerians. We now change the ratio. The ratio continued to go upward from getting to 50-50. And from there now where we are, we stand at actually about 80% Nigerians to 20% expatriate. Not only in terms of pilot, but also in terms of engineering. We were able to recruit young Nigerians, send them to the Nigerian College of Aviation in Zaria. They came back and we started training them along the line with our mainstay aircraft, which is the AW139, which is one of the ones that we use the financing that we got from BOI to actually train them. Caverton, together with the investment from BOI, we were able to get assets, and these assets we were able to deploy them in the oil and gas sector, which goes a long way in allowing them to do drilling to actually improve their production.
As we all know, aircraft maintenance, you have to have special equipment for repairing, servicing, which is generally collectively called the maintenance of the aircraft. So here we are where we have the special equipment to maintain the aircraft, and as you can see, they are all stacked in here. We already have them. We having them for our job makes it additionally easy for us to maintain our aircraft and to limit the time interval between when you need the aircraft, when the aircraft has an issue. So we have all our equipment bought by the company, owned by the company, and the tools are not just bought and kept, they are also monitored and they are sent for either calibration or rechecking that those equipment are still useful, are still okay to be used on live aircraft.
What you have behind me is a full flight simulator, which is a level D full flight simulator for the Augusta Westland AW139 helicopter. We use this device in training pilots to get them proficient for operations in the civil aviation. It has cut down the level of dependence on expatriates over a period of time. We've been able to reduce our dependence on expatriate pilots from about 95% to about 70% right now. The device has created opportunities for the local content, where we recruit locals to become certified and trained on this particular device, helping our operations, strengthening our operations, and helping Caverton as an organization to reach a larger market.